Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
You know, we didn't bring the energy that we brought in the first half to the second half, and it didn't translate. And, you know, as the energy drops off, Independence obviously went on a run, got a couple dunks. That fuels the team, and, you know, they kept on riding that wave.
It was a good win. You know, we can talk before the game that we'll get, you know, basically any shot we want. So we just need to be patient.
Akil Moore back into the game for Kansas. Another turnover. It is slipping away from the Jayhawks. Chatfield with the hammer.
Yeah, we knew those were going to be both incredibly important areas. I think DeJuan Harris is a phenomenal guard, lives in the paint, is a great playmaker. So it started with keeping him out of the paint.
We need to keep developing and keep learning to play better together so we don't have to rely on sets to score all the time. We do a good job of executing a lot of that stuff, but we need to be able to do a better job of playing with one another.
I haven't heard so much about it, so I'm sure if I would have heard something, like I felt like they were looking ahead or whatever, I'd remind them, but it wasn't easy to do that. They've been pretty focused in all year.
That defense is extremely real. They have a great quarterback and a great coach, and we knew when we played them this last time it was a hard-fought game, and they get after the quarterback really well. They have really good secondary players, and the linebackers fly around, so it'll be a great challenge for us, and we'll play our best football.
Well, you've been with a lot of teams in your life, haven't you? Yeah. Well, give me as fast as you can all the teams you've ever played with. Braves, Cardinals, Phillies, and the Braves again. Then in June, I was with... I love the minor leagues. Really? I love the minor leagues. Why is that? Slow pay, low meal money. You know, you never worry about, you know, no IRS people around you. It's great.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome into the Thursday program. Steve Webster with you. Mike Corson, fresh off his $200 winner, playing the scratch. And our executive producer, Landon Winkler, today. On the program, Great Bend Panther basketball coach Kyle Cree will be previewing tomorrow night's showdown in Hutchinson against the 4-1 Salthawks at the Shack. We'll also talk about next week's Salina Invitational Tournament. It begins on Thursday with the Panthers taking on Wichita South. He's going to be joined today by the two MVPs on the team this year, 3-year letterman. They will be after this season's over with. Great Bend Panther managers Isaac Sanchez and Nash Lindberg. Back in my day, we would eat after games because back then Skyline's district was really rich. So you go in and the first people that got the meals were the team managers. Thus, that was, and I was a coach's kid. I mean, I figured I'd get my meal first. That wasn't the case. Pop would always make sure the team managers got theirs first because they were doing all the work.
Did Mike Hesher get his ring first at Fort Hays State University?
No, after the national championship game, he had to go wash shorts and jock straps. So we'll talk to those guys today. Let's see. Back on the show today, Mike Corson going on the today for Panther Sports with Great Bend Panther wrestling coach Lars Luters. Lars will be with us tomorrow as well. Today we'll be talking about the boys wrestling so far this year. Tomorrow it will be the girls on the program. And we'll take a look at all the brackets. It's tournament week next week. So we'll run down some of those brackets as well. All the sounds, or all the Thursday headlines. And of course, we'll start with the sounds. Oh, a shocker on the Hill last night. Barton Cougars blowing a 30-point lead. They lose to Independence, 112, 111 in overtime. And, man, that put a huge dent in their hopes for a regular season title. Barton led by 30 late in the first half. They scored 57 points. Then in the second half gave up a season-high 63. And Independence just kept getting it close. 15, they get it down to 10. Then it got underneath 5. Then they made a 3, and then they made a couple free throws, like with 2 seconds left in the game or something like that, and it sent the game to overtime. Yes. And then they end up winning the thing in overtime. I've seen those happen before. I don't know if I remember 30. A 30-point, but you start thinking it gets closer and closer, and And Matt Bright, who went to the game last night, I was asking him and said, when did you actually think that Barton had a chance of losing it? And he said, well, maybe when it got down under 5 and you just kept waiting for the team to just that's tough to overcome, man. 112-111. Cougars fall in overtime last night, and that was assistant coach Tyson Downing on that really tough loss last night at the Kirkman Center.
So I think there was a UMass game here recently, maybe last night, 122 free throws. Talking to Cole Reif, Indy had 51 free throws. So they come back, they're still down 3 with about 4 seconds left, and Barton's going to opt to foul. But they fouled with 2 seconds left, clearing the backcourt. So the kid put up, the little junk shot and got his 3 free throws that they awarded him. He still had to go to the line and make the free throws, or Barton would have won. But yeah, I heard you this morning. I said, what's your shtick on this? Nobody's, especially a team that good, that's unheard of.
I've seen a lot of things I've never seen before here recently. One player dunked the ball 6 straight times in a high school game. Someone hit 8 3-pointers on 8 attempts in 1 quarter. Saw that last Friday, and then this.
The greatest thing Reagan Phelan scored 26 points in 1 quarter against Victoria. Still didn't finish with 40 points that night, but to score 26 and a quarter, I'll never see that again.
26 and a quarter? But you remember those Central Plains games. I mean, a lot of them turned in. It would look like the clock was running, right? Like the game was actually going on. But it looked like Central Plains was in pregame drills where they're just running a layup drill, right? Because they throw it in, they'd steal it, they go in, drive for a layup. The other team get the ball, they throw the ball in, and get stolen, they go in for a layup. You almost want to hear the Harlem Globetrotters. Dun, 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 dun. So, yeah, tough loss last night for Barton. Lady Cougars have won 3 straight, and something that they haven't done a lot this year is score points. It's been hard to get the ball through the hole. They scored 94 last night, beating Independence 94-49, and they cut their turnovers way down as well, averaging almost 24 turnovers a game. Had only 5 toward the end of the first half. That's head coach Alan Clark talking about the keys to winning that game. And his patience. They figured they would get any shot they wanted. Kiana Hill, 20 points, 4 assists, 21 minutes. Men and women host Coffeyville on Saturday at 2 at the Kirkman Center. Interesting night in the Jayhawk Conference. We'll look on the men's first because Hutchinson beating Seward 67-50, so they are now ahead of the Cougars in the standings. Barton is in 5th place right now. It's 7-4. Hutchinson improved 8-3. They've been playing very good basketball. Coffeyville beats Dodge City 80-67. They move into a first-place tie in the conference standings with Cowley, who had last night off. Both those teams are 10-1. Butler is 9-2. The Grizzlies winning last night, beating Cloud County 89-70. Lady Cougars trying to crawl up the standings. They're now 4-7 in the conference. And there's a whole bunch of teams right there in the middle. Now, Hutchinson, they're alone in first place now. They beat Seward last night 52-40. Coffeyville knocking off third-ranked Dodge City 63-60. I don't know if it takes some luster off Saturday's game in Dodge, where Dodge City hosting Hutchinson. That will be a battle between 1 and 3 in the country, but Dodge City had to make that long trip to Coffeyville, and their legs stayed on the bus. Coffeyville beats Dodge 63-60. Now, Coffeyville's in 3rd place right now in the league. Hutch 11-0, 17-0 overall. Dodge City 10-1, 15-2. Coffeyville 8-3. Seward, they won last night, or they lost to Hutchinson. They're 7-4. Butler 7-4. Cloud, Cowley, Garden 6-5. Colby 5-7. Barton's up to 4-7 now, but they've got Coffeyville coming in here on Saturday. Call last night on ESPN, Dyshawn Jackson throwing down an alley-oop dunk during a decisive second-half run. Put Iowa State up 68-55 on KU. Cyclones go on to beat the Jayhawks 74-57 in Ames. I thought KU was going to win this game all night because Hunter Dickinson was in foul trouble. He didn't play, but he came right in toward the end of the first half, and Iowa State hadn't put him away, and then KU cut a 12-point margin down to 5, and then boom. Just like that, KU couldn't get a loose basketball. 17 KU turnovers. Cyclones beat KU for the 3rd straight time in Ames. They extended their home winning streak to 28 games. with defense and rebounding. That's according to that comment from head coach T.J. Otzelberger. Iowa State visits West Virginia on Saturday. KU hosts Kansas State, noon at Allen Fieldhouse. KU's now 2 games out of first in the Big 12. Iowa State, Houston, they won last night. They're 5-0. Arizona got off to a shaky start this year, but they're 5-0 in conference play. And then you have 5 teams who are 3-2. KU, UCF, Texas Tech, West Virginia, and Baylor. Decisive win last night. Utah beat TCU 73-65. Cincinnati over Colorado 68-62. And Houston beating West Virginia 70-54. So Saturday, KU hosts Kansas State. It's a noon tip on CBS. Nationally televised game before the playoffs, or before the NFL goes. Head coach Michael Ryan, guest on Sports Day yesterday. And if you played for Seth Rolfs, probably he didn't seem like a guy that was always happy with the way his team was playing, even though they may be like 18-0 or 18-1. Talking about what they needed to do better this year. And Michael Ryan talking that wants to, where they don't rely on set plays as much, wants them to play together a little bit more. Well, I think it's a pretty unselfish team, but just to get the feel for each other, know where someone's going to be, get baskets that way where they don't have to rely on so many sets. Brody Kreitz, senior, Aiden Heckley having great seasons. Kreitz just a sophomore. They will play tonight against the Skyline Thunderbirds, the Fighting T-Birds in Claflin tonight. And then tomorrow night, they will go to Victoria. Larned, they play tonight. They'll be at Halstead. Take on the Dragons. That's not a makeup game. That is because Halstead is playing in the Adolph Rupp Invitational next week.
Yeah, going back to Michael Ryan, talk about a kid with a future, and just to put that in perspective, that really good Oilers team under Brett Rolfs, I think when he was a freshman.
Did I say Seth Rolfs? Okay, yeah. Well, you can correct me on the air. That is fine, okay? There's so many Rolfs. Brett Rolfs.
He would say,
you.
That kid
you
is
just
my...
let me go along here and just go down and just said, eh.
He said he was my floor general, so now he's coaching. He's young, so he was on the team with Braden Kreitz, now coaching Braden's brother. That's nuts. But I expect that kid to make a run. Michael to make, not a kid, but he's got some duration in him. They will make a run at some point wherever he ends up. And it could be Central Plains forever.
Well, they're 6-2 on the season going into the game tonight with Skyline. And I know I say this every time I talk about Michael Ryan, but it's worth noting. The only player ever to play on a state championship football game as a center and lead his team to the state basketball tournament as the point guard. I mean, I always thought quarterback defensive end was pretty cool. But when you put it in basketball, point guard, and a center on the football team.
And he's a really nice guy, but in that position on the football field, he was really mean. But he was also a really good tennis player. But he's just part of a family that, if you've ever followed sports in Central Kansas, you probably heard about him for about 9 years.
All right, Kansas City Chiefs met with the local media on Monday. That was a comment from head coach Andy Reid. He was asked about, has there been any talk about the Chiefs three-peating? And he said, well, no, I haven't heard any talk about it, and basically indicating that if he would have put an end to it very quickly. Chiefs take on the Texans Saturday at Arrowhead. Kansas City beat the Texans 27-19 back in December. Patrick Mahomes, well aware of what the Chiefs are up against this weekend. I'm really torn on this game because I just don't know how to gauge the rust factor here. Chiefs basically haven't played a games for 3 weeks. Whatever they threw out there against the Broncos in the final game. They didn't play last week. But then, so I think, okay, the rust factor. I'd rather have the rust factor maybe against the Texans. But they've got a lot of people healthy. And Andy Reid has had like 2 weeks to do, 1 week to figure out who Houston has. But they've been putting in plays the whole time. I think we're going to see new wrinkles from the defense. So I feel good from that standpoint. But then it's the Chiefs, so it's going to be a 3-point game where it comes down to a final kick. And then Harrison Butker, has he calmed the yips? Is there a pill for that? My God, he's missed 2 field goals here.
We are running into weather situations again. Is Saturday not supposed to be super cold? What's Houston going to do with that? Yeah, I would absolutely be terrified if I was a Chiefs fan coming out of the break against a Baltimore or a Buffalo. But Houston just doesn't. I don't know why, but I just don't see any concern
As
there.
long as the Chiefs don't turn it over. Just take care of the football. If you get out there and get off to a slow start, maybe you're down a little bit at halftime even. Just don't get too far behind because you turn it over. And I think they're going to be fine. But you just never know, man. They're trying to win 3 in a row. I mean, 3 in a row.
Was it last year that they kind of had the Arctic Bowl up there where it was minus 26?
That was Miami. Yeah, that was.
People were losing fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a beatdown of the Dolphins who just didn't want any part of that weather.
So Saturday, a high of 24, so it's a little bit before the cold spell, but it's still going to be way colder than Houston's used to, and then the indoor team, so edge Kansas City definitely.
I heard a stat. Now, I don't know, and of course, it's one of those stats you kind of hear going, oh, that's kind of cool, and then you don't forget to write it down. But if the Chiefs get to the AFC Championship game, it's like double-digit years that one of the quarterbacks in the AFC Championship game was either Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. How many years? I mean,
He's awfully young.
He's awfully young. 3:30 on ESPN. We'll have it for you starting at 2 on B1043 The Point. All right. The other Saturday matchup is in the NFC. Washington plays at Detroit. No,
I think that's the second best game of the weekend behind.
Detroit's going to smoke them.
I don't know.
Detroit's going to smoke them.
You can't count them out.
You've.
I'm on the band camp of the Rookie of the Year.
You've got a rookie quarterback on the road in the playoffs. No, it's not going to happen.
And I know Detroit shook it off last year, but it is still Detroit, one of the few teams that never win in the Super Bowl. And now you've got a hungrier Washington team.
I'll take a bet with you on that if you just want to straight up. I'm not going to get in points. You can say it's an upset. Hey, you just won a $200 scratcher ticket.
I'd like to keep it a little while.
Okay. Sunday, the Rams play at Philadelphia. What do you think is more likely to happen? The Rams winning at Philly, or Washington winning at Detroit, or Houston winning at Kansas City? I like the
Washington.
Rams. I like the Rams.
Oh, not the. I still can't watch the Rams, but Philly, I just think, especially playing at Philly's gonna. I'm expecting weather there too, so that's a California team. But Philly's just tough and gritty.
Baltimore at Buffalo.
That's a pick 'em. But I'm going home team there, and we're getting later into the playoffs. Now you start worrying about that record of the MVP.
Who cares?
No, I'm saying first round, I don't doubt him, but I do think it has to get in his head later in the playoffs.
Haven't they already voted for that? Don't they vote for it on
regular season, yeah.
And finally, our final sound of the past 24 hours, 1985, Bob Uecker on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Bob Uecker passed away today at the age of 90, earned the moniker Mr. Baseball and honors from the Hall of Fame. Team announcing today, calling it one of the most difficult days in Milwaukee Brewers history. In a statement released by the club, Uecker's family said he had battled small cell lung cancer since early 2023. And that's where I remember Bob Uecker from. He was a comedian. He used to come out. That was like, you knew, Bob Uecker's on tonight on the Johnny Carson. Dad, can I stay up? Come on. Let me stay up tonight for Bob Uecker's on the Tonight Show. I just got to see Johnny's monologue.
Well, and probably what he's most famous for outside of Milwaukee would be Major League, the movie.
Yeah.
So he was funny in that just a bit outside, which everybody, if there's ever a pitch that does something stupid,
it's always that. Yeah. Exactly.
But we went to Miller Park several years ago, and I'm pretty sure they have a statue of him while he was still alive up in the booth.
And he was in the greatest commercials that were ever made as well. Tastes great, less filling, tastes great. Yeah, he was part of that ad campaign. Okay, there you go. Sounds of the past 24 hours or so. We're going to take a break. We'll come back and talk about some of the basketball tournaments getting underway next week here on Sports Day. Our show brought to you by Great Bend Rec, dedicating to improving the community and the lives of its individuals. Eller Automotive Repair, where they specialize in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. And the Barton Cougar Booster Club continue their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department one of the best in the country.
Jumpstart your education with Barton Online. You can pick up a class or earn an associate degree for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling. Start when it works for you. Choose from 5 sessions throughout the semester, including 16, 8, and 4-week options. Save big on the way toward your career or tackle your gen eds with our low-cost pathway. Visit online.bartoncccc.edu and enroll today.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
All here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Sports Day on 1590. It's time to talk Great Bend High School basketball with head coach Kyle Creed on Sports Day. Athletic Department.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on a Thursday. Our show brought to you in part by C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange sign south of Harrison, 10th and Harrison in Great Bend. Equity Bank, here when you need it. Coming up, we will have head coach Kyle Creed of the Great Bend Panthers in here, along with his team managers, Isaac Sanchez and Nash Lindbergh. Okay, tournament week gets going next week, and the Great Bend Panthers heading to Salina for the second straight year. Panther boys, the number 1 seed. They will take on the 8 seed, Wichita South, who's played a tough schedule. But one thing about playing tough schedules, don't you need to play within 10 points or 20 points or 25 points of those tough opponents that you're playing? They've been smoked in most of their games. And that's going to be 4:30 on Thursday at Salina Central.
Yeah, it goes the other way. When you play the Cupcakes, you expect to win big, so you don't get credit just for playing the tough teams if you can't stay competitive.
Right. Well, we played a tough schedule, yeah, and you get throttled. Okay, so when the Panthers win that game, I'm going to call that one out, unless you want to argue with me. They would play at 4:30 on Friday at Kansas Wesleyan in the semifinals against either Salina Central or Buhler. Bottom bracket, Andover got off to a slow start this year, but they've still struggled compared for Andover standards. They're the number 2 seed in this tournament. They'll take on 7 seed Wamego. Well, I think Andover's 5-2. That's not bad. Salina South will play Abilene in the other quarterfinal game. On the girls' side, Great Bend girls, a rematch with Salina South, who handled them pretty well, pretty easily in the season opener back on December 6th. That's who Great Bend plays. 6 o'clock at Salina South. We'll join that game in progress unless we have a running clock in the boys' game, giving us a little bit extra time to get across town to Salina South. So doubleheader for you on Thursday. Buhler plays Abilene. Abilene has not won a game. That's in the Abilene's number 8 seed, Buhler number 1, South 4, Great Bend 5. Andover, the number 2 seed, plays Junction City. Number 3 seed Wamego plays Salina Central in the other quarterfinal game.
The one that sticks out there to me, Wamego is the only team that's played close to Heston. So I thought they would be ranked. They're not ranked, but they're evidently pretty decent because Heston's blown out everybody. Took them to overtime.
Did they now?
Yeah. And so you got to bounce back and forth. Who's your driver? Do you trust Marzoff in high-stress situations in the big city, or is that all you?
Oh, I'm the captain. I can't stand a ride. I just can't. I'm not in control of things. I'm a horrible passenger. I'm just telling you now. And plus Marzoff, is he cleared to drive Eagle vehicles? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, Hoiston Winter Jam on the boys' side starts Monday, and these are quarterfinal games. Pratt, the number 1 seed, 6-2, will take on 8 seed Minneapolis at 5. The 8 o'clock game, Victoria against Otis Bison boys. Bottom bracket games on Tuesday. La Crosse, number 2 seed against number 7 seed Hoisington at 8. The 5 o'clock boys game is Ellenwood against Ellsworth on Tuesday. Girls' side of the bracket, it's split up because that's so Pratt can play both their games on Monday with their boys and girls. Ellenwood is the number 1 seed on the girls' side. They've lost only once, and that was to St. John this week. Ellenwood against Otis Bison at 3:30. The 6:30 game, Pratt, the 4 seed, plays number 5 seed La Crosse. That's on Monday. Also on Monday, in the bottom bracket, Minneapolis will play 3:30 against Victoria, who is 4-4, and Ellsworth on Tuesday at 6:30. The number 3 seed will play the number 6 seed Hoisington. The Midwinter Classic. The boys bracket looks like this. Central Plains is the number 1 seed. They will play Monday night at 8 o'clock against the number 8 seed Nickerson. Also on Monday, but on the opposite side of the bracket, it'll be number 2 seed Maxville against 7 seed Cimarron. On Tuesday, it will be 4 seed Little River against number 5 seed Larned. The winner of that game will get Central Plains Nickerson. And the other quarterfinal, this will be on Tuesday in the Maxville-Cimarron bracket. 3 seed St. John plays 6 seed Inman. Okay, on the girls' side, number 1 seed Little River plays Nickerson Monday night at 6:30. Then we'll go to the bottom bracket where number 2 seed Central Plains will take on Cimarron. Tuesday, the 3:30 game, Inman, 6-1, taking on 4-5 Maxville. The winner of that game gets either Central Plains or Cimarron. And this is where if I was St. John is 9-2. I think I'd have jockeyed the bracket a little bit. Although, who do you want to play? Central Plains? You want to play Little River? I'd probably want to play Central Plains because I saw what Little River can do, and it wasn't good. But St. John will take on Larned. That's going to be a good game. It'll be a rematch. St. John beat Larned in their regular season meeting this year. But that will be Tuesday at 6:30. The winner of that game will get Little River in the semifinals.
It's a nice little girls bracket.
Pretty tough tournament, man. You got Little River's undefeated. St. John's lost only twice. Larned is 4-3. Central Plains, they're 7-1. Then you have Inman, who's 6-1. That's a good tournament down there in St. John next week.
My hot take on the whole 3 of them, you got the Hoisington boys at number 7. It's based off of record, so they're probably playing some tougher competition. CKL schools just saw them go toe-to-toe with number 3 Heston, and Kyle Haxton can muddy it up with the best of them. So, and as one of the bigger schools in that tournament, watch out.
And
except for Pratt, we'll see what they do tonight.
And La Crosse with Kyle Schmidt, they're 5-2. I think it's they lost some studs off last year's team in class. Some of them, I can still see them over there with their cards hanging up in the studio over there. So
Leopard Treasures.
Yeah. If you want to check out the tournaments, Mike Corson has all the brackets up right now at GreatBendPost.com. All right, time to talk Panther basketball. They play at the Shack tomorrow. Salt Hawk Activity Center against Hutchinson. We'll talk about it with Coach Cree coming up right after this.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. So I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
C&E Doors, this is Cindy.
Me, Ma! I passed my math test!
Great job, Hadley. I knew counting all those parts in our huge inventory would help out.
Don't forget about the springs.
That's right. We have the most in-stock springs of anyone in western Kansas.
Well, I don't know if our inventory is making me smarter or just giving me a headache.
Garage doors, service, and repairs at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Ryan, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
You putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
It's time to talk Great Bend High School basketball with head coach Kyle Cree on Sports Day.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on a Thursday. Our show brought to you in part by C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange sign south of Harrison, 10th and Harrison in Great Bend. Equity Bank, here when you need us. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Find out more at equitybank.com and by the Animal Medical Center in Great Bend. Large or small, they take care of them all. Welcome to the show today. Time to talk Panther basketball. Head coach Kyle Cree is with us today, and joining them, the MVP of any basketball program. Kyle, we have your managers in here today, Isaac Sanchez and Nash Lindbergh.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing the unsung heroes along today.
Yeah, I agree. These guys do a great job, and I'm glad we got that shout out for AMC.
Okay, well, you know, we go back. We take care of our sponsor guys, you know, so that's really good. Now, back in the day when my dad was a coach, and we would eat after games, okay? So you go into the restaurants, and you think that, you know, you come up and you were going to be the first one to, you know, get your food and stuff. No. It was the managers that always got their food first, as it should be, right, Kyle Cree?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we cater to these guys that much, but we do try to take care of them. I think there are times when we have team dinners, we try to encourage these guys to get up there maybe before some of the others, but pretty humble guys, and they kind of stick with their crew. They're, we cater to them some. We treat them right, but, yeah, we probably could do more like your dad did for his guys.
I'm just telling you, if you've been at Skyline High School back in the day, you'd have got to eat first. Okay, Isaac Sanchez with us. Isaac, tell me what you do. I don't know if we have enough time because I do want to talk about Hutch tomorrow night, but tell me about what you do with the Panther basketball program as a manager for the Panthers.
So, like, during practice and stuff, we go through a schedule, and we, like, bring out towels if the floor needs clean or if their shoes need clean. And then we go through the schedule, and we run the clock. And then game days, we fill up waters. We get the bench ready with towels and stuff. And then handshakes is always a cool part.
The handshakes?
Yeah.
So you coordinate the handshakes?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, during starting intros. Nash, how long you got to practice with these guys, or how's that work? I mean, you're under the spotlight at that time.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really practice. We kind of do the same ones we do every year. So.
Okay, no one came up with a new one this year?
Well, the guys that started their first time starting, we came up with new ones. But like Ian, we have the same one since freshman year.
All right, staying with it. Isaac, how long have you been a team manager?
This will be my third year.
Okay, Nash, how about yourself?
Me as well.
Okay, so you got experience back.
Yeah, these guys have been doing it, and it's kind of nice because these guys are part of the team. So if we get new guys that want to be a part of it, they can kind of show them the ropes, and for myself as the head coach, I don't really have to do a whole lot because these guys kind of know what to do on game days. They do a lot as far as like cleaning up too, and they probably don't get enough credit. So when everybody else is kind of running to the locker room, these guys are, focused on like cleaning up water bottles, picking up broken dry erase markers if I break one, making sure we get all the shooter shirts, and I couldn't be more thankful for what these guys do.
Or broken clipboards sometimes.
Yeah, I haven't broken any this year.
What's game day like, Nash?
When normally we start out, we load up the bus with all the stuff, and then once we get there, we kind of unload it and put it in the locker room, and then unpack some of the towels and water bottles, fill them up, get them ready on the bench, and then wait till everybody's gone and clean up the locker room and then pack back up.
Do you guys come up with your own checklist or you ever get on the bus and you're driving there and say, I wonder...
Yeah, we've done that a few times. Last year we forgot water bottles in Kingman, and that was a bit of a rough day. But
okay, all right. Well, that's the way it goes. So, what year are you in school now, Nash?
A junior.
Okay, junior. And so freshman year. I mean, this is something. Are you going to be a 4-year manager now?
Yes, probably.
Okay. So, as you looking ahead to get through your high school years, what are you looking to get into?
After high school?
Yeah.
I'd like to go into the medical field eventually, so I'll probably major in life science.
Okay, that's cool. Isaac, how about yourself?
Probably business.
Okay.
And then maybe side of being a equipment manager at K-State.
Yeah, okay. That's another thing to think about. That is a great idea that you can do with this. So
maybe the GM of the Denver Broncos someday. He's a big Broncos guy, so he spends a lot of time researching.
That's it for Isaac today.
Yeah.
Great having you on the program, and
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We've been busy making mock drafts so we can be Super Bowl champs.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good. Okay, Hutchinson tomorrow. Quick thought, looking back, what you saw when you looked at video from the Garden City game on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, the Garden game, we came out really well, and I think maybe, I don't know the best word to describe it, maybe we just got comfortable or, I don't know, just kind of going through the motions or whatever. Defensively, we kind of gave up some shots that we typically wouldn't. But, they battled. We got up big after that first quarter, but they did a good job of just persevering and fighting through some tough times, and they played us well. So, I think everybody there kind of wanted to blow them out. But, there was probably some good things that came out of that because they did keep it close.
Isaac, what were your thoughts on the game?
I feel like the team kind of went through adversity. Like, it was a large gap in points, but, it was kind of close at some points. But, we didn't run away with it, but we still ended up on top. And I feel like the guys, saw that throughout the game that, it's not going to be easy, so we might as well play a little bit harder. In second half, I feel like that happened. Fourth quarter, able to close it out. So
that's awesome. Nash, what were your thoughts when it got down? It was a 5-point game there in the fourth quarter before Jake got that and one.
Yeah, I think they got a hot start, and then they just felt a little too comfortable and then just kind of was lackadaisical. And then I think they finally realized, we need to play if we want to win. So they probably started playing a little bit more again.
Yeah.
And then obviously closed it out. So.
Okay, headed to the Shack tomorrow night. Take on the Salt Hawks at the Salt Hawk Activity Center. Man, these guys are I mean, they're not ranked, but they probably will be sometime this year, maybe not next week. But talk about this Hutch team, man. They were very impressive against Valley Center on Tuesday night.
Yeah, they're always good and tough, and they play great defense, and they're going to attack the boards. And I know their head coach coached at the JUCO level for a long time, so they kind of have that JUCO mentality, and we're going to have to be ready. It's going to be a dogfight, and our guys can't back down.
Okay, you played them twice last year. They double-digited you during the regular season at the field house. You did the same in the game that mattered, the sub-state. What were the differences in those two games, something you want to take from that second meeting last year when you took on Hutch that was so successful?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just kept getting better as the year progressed, and I think the big thing when you play Hutch is just maintaining your composure. It's inevitable. They're gonna force some turnovers. So we got to limit those, and if we do make a mistake, just live to play another possession, and just make sure we're not getting too bitter. Just stick together. It's got to be a team thing, so we got to make sure that not 2 or 3 guys are just trying to do their own thing out there. If we get all 5 guys on the same page, whether it's on offense or defense, we're a pretty good basketball team.
Terrell King, talk about what problems he presents.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's strong. I think he's 5'10", but he definitely plays like he's bigger than that, and He rebounds at a high level. He can score it without a doubt. He can score it at all 3 levels, whether it's driving or hitting a mid-range jumper or shooting threes. And then defensively, steals. I mean, I think that's kind of what makes them tick. And if he's getting steals, they're getting out in transition, and that's probably when they play their best basketball.
How much have they pressed this year?
They have. I mean, it seems like they try it with everybody and see if they can force some turnovers or fall back. So, Mays was able to handle some pressure, so they didn't quite as much. But the other night against Valley Center was 6-1, and it was a close game at halftime. I think it was 8 or 9 points, and then they just came out and put some defense on them and ended up winning that quarter 27-10, and it was pretty much game over after that.
Isn't this team, though, that you have right now, I mean, when you see the press, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if cool, but maybe just like I don't stress as much. I'm not necessarily like losing sleep because we got guys that, or we don't have guys that can dribble the ball or work together, or maybe we only have one point guard. We've got everybody that I think that is in our top 14 to 16 guys I think can handle the ball. We went through some press breakers yesterday, and it seemed like everybody was paying attention. We also got a couple special plays in case it's late and we gotta hit a game winner or something at the end of the quarter. So it helps that we got Dax and Coop and guys that can really throw the ball. So if we got to go the whole length of the court, even Jake. I mean, Jake's got a cannon too. So there's a variety of things that we can do with our guys, and it's kind of cool to have kids that are so talented.
You've played a pretty tough schedule this year with some very good teams. This the toughest challenge yet, you think?
Yeah, I mean, Hutch is always a tough challenge. I don't know that anybody's going to be tougher than Hutch, but we lost to Haven, so you can't throw that out there. And Coach Paramore and everything that he does with that 1-3-1. Sterling, Sterling's really good. Yeah. So it's hard to say which one's going to be challenging. I mean, Hutch is probably the most challenging because it's the next one. So yeah.
Isaac, your feelings going into the game tomorrow?
Confident in the guys. I think if they lock in and they play to their strengths and, just bet on each other, I think it's a win.
Nash, what are you feeling right now?
Yeah, if they lock in and do well, and they'll do well.
Coach, what are you feeling?
I think if these two guys show up, we'll be just fine. So, no. I think, if we can handle the pressure, make sure we move the ball on offense, and we got to win the rebound margin. We are rebounding the ball really well. I think we were maybe plus 40 against Garden, which is pretty impressive for a high school team. But I think they're averaging, at least in the games that we have, they're at about 33 to 34 rebounds a game. So it's going to be a battle on the boards, and we got to make sure we can take care of the King kid and just not let him score at all 3 levels like I mentioned before.
Okay, brackets came out yesterday for the Saline Invitational Tournament. Second year that the Panthers will be going. Second year the Panthers will be going to that tournament. Yet Wichita South, any thoughts on the draw of the other teams that are going to be in this tournament next week?
Yeah, I think maybe like an outsider looking in, you see Wichita South as an 8 seed, but they got to play Wichita Heights, who's a 6A powerhouse, Bishop Carroll, Capon. Wichita Northwest is a really good 6A team this year, so we can't underestimate those guys. We got some film on them, so we'll get prepared. And in that second round, whether we see Buhler or Salina Central, I think that'll be a tough matchup. And then on the bottom side with Abilene, they've been really good in the past few years, and Andover is always going to be one of the top 5A teams. So a really challenging tournament, but I think we're excited.
The last time that I broadcast a game from Salina Central, well, first of all, these guys weren't born.
May have been when I was a kid.
Well, it probably was. The last time I was in Salina Central's gym, it would have been in the sub-state of in 1990. And Great Bend won 2 games. They beat Hayes, and then they beat, Central or South to go to the state tournament with a record of 2-20.
Yeah, I bet I was there. I was a big Salina Central guy before we had a house fire. But, I was probably, hanging from the rafters or, I don't know, eating popcorn from underneath the bleachers. I don't know. Yeah. Probably getting beat up by somebody. Who knows?
And I was sitting there with this little cub reporter from the Hayes Daily News that was covering the game. His name was Mike Marzoff. So all these years later, here we are again. Yeah,
man, it's gone full circle here.
Did they ever put any lights in there? Because it was always really dark.
Yeah, it kind of still has that same gloomy vibe.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just It seems like it may be a little bit brighter, but
okay,
it's a cool gym. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
similar to ours. Ours is a little bit bigger, but it kind of has that old school feel to it. So, and definitely a place that I enjoy going and playing.
Yep, looking forward to it. 4:30 coming up next Thursday. Tomorrow at the Salt Hawk Activity Center, the newly named Shack. That's where we'll have Great Bend and Hutchinson. Thanks to Isaac for coming in today. And Nash, guys, don't forget the water bottles today. Check your list and have a great trip over there, and we'll see you on Friday, okay?
Sounds great.
All right, that's our show today here on Sports Not Our Show. Coming up next on the program, Mike Corson goes on the prowl for Panther Sports. We'll be talking with Great Bend Panther wrestling coach Lars Luters. That's next on Sports Day.
Inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, and today we want to give a shout out to all the supporting cast at these basketball games. We have some great young men and young women on the court, but we also have some great young men and women playing their instruments, cheering, dancing, all those things. Let's clap for them. When they perform and get done, let's show them a round of applause, show them some love as well, because they deserve it. Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, large or small, we take care of them all.
Pulling acres ahead of the competition is simple. Cenex Maxtron synthetic diesel engine oils give you the smartest oil for the toughest conditions. These premium oils are formulated with EnduroVis technology and a balanced additive package to control deposits for a cleaner, more efficient engine that gives you proven durability. Cenex Maxtron diesel engine oils. Oil that runs smart.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined today by Panther wrestling coach Lars Luters. Coach, been a little bit since we talked to you. Kids been plenty of action, just getting back into it in the new year. But we'll talk about the boys today. Big tournament in Dodge City. What was that, Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, it was 2 days. I think it was the first year they'd done that. So we got 2-day tournament in Dodge, Friday, Saturday, and yeah, it's at the arena out there. So it's pretty cool to go back there and see that they got wrestling in that arena, and it's alive and well in Dodge.
You got your start in Dodge City as a coach?
I did, yep, straight out of college, so 23 years old. They called me and recruited me down there, and so I got my start in the WAC, and appreciated, them giving me my start and 11 years I was there, but it was good to go back and kind of see what they'd done, but it was really cool to bring my team and even cooler when they would wrestle at Dodge Kid.
And overnight stay, you guys will see that at state and all that, but how much does that change for the wrestlers?
Yeah, I kind of like it because, you can monitor their weight. You can monitor their bedtime, make sure they're in their bed, all those kind of little things that people don't think about that make a big difference. So, and I'm all about doing things that are a simulation of the state tournament. So, going to the arena looks just like Hartman. It's almost identical minus the walking tracks and lower level instead of the upper level. So it's really good, venue to get them prepped for the state tournament. And as many times as you can simulate the state tournament, simulate kind of big-time events, the better.
Talk about some of the kids that have done well. Trenton Kern was injured right before the break. He got to come back, but got a little bit banged up, last week against Pratt, and then goes out to Dodge City in really tough competition. What's his status going forward?
Yeah, so he's cleared and he's ready to roll. So he's full go right now, and obviously we'll be keeping our eye on him. And it's just kind of what happens when you have an athlete like that is a star in multiple sports. They're going to get banged up. So being smart about it, being intentional about your process and when you return and how you make your comeback are very important.
Jace, well, we'll start with this. What kind of wrestler were you? Were you a pin guy or tech guy?
Well, I mean, so I was a cradle. I was definitely good on top, but the way I cradled, it was really hard to pin them. So I was definitely got a lot of techs, and I think I was up there my senior year in college with either I got first or second in the most near falls in NCAA. So I was definitely a top guy, that's for sure.
So we had the Sharts brothers in last week, and definitely knew Jace was a tech fall guy, but it seems like Cal's kind of following suit. But Jace is pushing in that record. It's kind of an interesting thing to pursue for a high school wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, that's kids will have different goals, and individual goals and hopefully team goals. And what I told him is if that's important to you, then it's important to me. Because I care about you as a person more than just a wrestler, and if that's something that you're going to think back on the rest of your life, then that's a big deal. You can tell your kids about it, tell your grandkids about it, hopefully one day, if and so, all I asked of him is let's try to get it done before the state tournament so we can pin him instead of tech him at the state tournament.
We're talking extra points.
Mm-hmm. Yep, extra team points, yeah.
Talking to Panther Wrestling coach Lars Luters, some of the other kids that names pop up frequently with success. Tristan Tomlinson is ranked. Hayden Lyles was ranked, dropped out this last week. Hayden Kelly's been up there. How about just they kicked you out of the rankings in the team this week, but how about your group as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I'm everything that I've talked about with the kids is about the state tournament. I mean, it's about the end. It's about peaking. And so, you're going to drop in and out of rankings. You might be ranked lower than you should be, but if you're doing it right, you're not firing on all cylinders right now. When you want to be firing all cylinders at the end of the year, and that's what we'll gauge things on. And I've had a lot of good teams that, have been ranked lower that do well at the state tournament. It's kind of up to the kids on buying into that philosophy, really thinking that they're going to peak at the end, caring more about their results at the end than in the middle of the season. So, if they buy into that, I think that they can place fairly high at the state tournament overall as a group, and that would mean that we got multiple state placers. So we only have one senior, so like right now I'm trying to make sure that Jace accomplishes his individual goal, obviously state champ, and all the rest of the team in this year, but they have a whole career ahead of them too. So there's a lot to teach them about just the journey they're on and how to look at the season as a whole and their career as a whole. And so, I'm prepping them for this year, but in my mind, I'm also prepping them for their, next year or 2 or 3 years down the road as well.
And where are the boys headed up next?
Yeah, so we're going, so they have this weekend off, and then we're going to go to the Hayes Bob Kuhn Classic. Originally we're going to go out to Iowa, and that kind of got pushed back maybe a year. And so, but yeah, I mean, it's always a good tournament. It's a 2-day tournament once again, and it's kind of a staple in Great Bend's schedule, and kind of staple out in this area. And then followed up after that with Garden City tournament. It's another big 2-day. And so once again, just preps for the regional and state tournament.
Been hearing from Panther Wrestling coach Lars Luters. Thanks for joining us, and good luck to the guys.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
More Sports Day after this.
Senior Doors, this is Hadley.
Hadley, what are we going to do today?
You have to work at Senior Doors. What if there's another power outage?
You're right, Hadley. People rely on us to be able to get into their houses and businesses. That is why we sell electric operators with battery backups and have been serving the community longer than anyone.
Does that mean you're getting old, Papa?
Not old, experienced.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Take your passion for creating magic behind the curtain to new levels with Barton Community College's Technical Theater program. This new program is designed for students to learn how to create breathtaking light shows, run a state-of-the-art soundboard, and build captivating sets. Unleash your creativity and earn an associate's degree to build the skills you need for a career in theater. Now enrolling for the fall semester. Learn more at techtheater.bartoncccc.edu.
Hey, I'm Brett Podolsky, co-founder of The Farmer's Dog. We make fresh food for dogs. We started the company when we saw what a huge difference it made in my own dog, Jada, when she stopped eating ultra-processed kibble and started eating fresh, whole food. The Farmer's Dog food isn't fancy. It's just real food delivered to your door in pre-portioned packs. It's better for them and easier for you.
Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/trial50. That's thefarmersdog.com/trial50.
And welcome back. Sports Day here at 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Our show brought to you today by Freedom Claims Management. Innovative healthcare plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you from start to finish. And continued support, they certainly have you covered. The American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, where they feature number 2 Clear Diesel, Bulk Fuel, E10, fuel delivery, and all your lubricants and fuel supplies. And the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. Okay, don't forget tonight, high school basketball on the air. Larned Indians tonight at Halstead. And for the Larned girls, that'll be a big test tonight as they'll be taking on Halstead, who is the number 2 ranked team in Class 3A girls basketball. So good luck to the Lady Indians tonight. Some other sports headlines from the day. Urban Meyer is going to join Nick Saban in the 2025 College Football Hall of Fame class. National Football Foundation announced Saban's selection last week, and the rest of the 18-player, 4-coach class yesterday. Michael Vick, Michael Strahan among the former players who will be inducted. Saban retired last year as the NCAA's active leader in wins with 292 and 7 national championships. Meyer led Florida national titles in 2006 and 2008. And then won at Ohio State in 2014. Viewer audiences for the first weekend of the NFL playoffs down 9.3% from last year, a bigger decline than what the league experienced during the regular season. According to the league and Nielsen, the 6 wild card round games averaged 28.3 million viewers on television and digital platforms compared to 31.2 million last year. The 2 Saturday games held steady while the Sunday and Monday matchups saw declines. And Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers has declared for the NFL draft, ending the Longhorns' career, which he led the program to a Big 12 championship and twice to the college football playoff, but was not always embraced by a fan base eagerly waiting for Arch Manning to take over. Okay, high school basketball tomorrow. Great Bend at Hutchinson should be a good one. We'll have it for you on 5:45 on B1043 The Point. Houston is at Pratt tomorrow, and we'll have that game for you on 100.7 Eagle Country. And, of course, Gary and Buddy tonight on Hits 106.9 for Larned and Halstead. We will have Jeremy Combs on the show tomorrow, Connor Nickel and Lars Luters back to talk Panther girls wrestling. Have a great day.
Agriculture Today on